Ready to level up your Sonos Arc Ultra? Here are 10 tips that you need to try. The Sonos Arc Ultra is one of the best soundbars that you can buy for under £1,000, and while it sounds fantastic straight out of the box, it can also get better. Now, we've spent the last year living with the Arc Ultra, testing it out and comparing it, and of course, helping our customers fine-tune theirs. And what we've learned is that almost every setup can definitely benefit from some tweaks. There are a few handy settings that make a big difference, and a couple of common mistakes that you'll definitely want to avoid. If you're new here, I'm Louis, one of the tech guides at Smart Home Sounds, an independent audio-visual retailer based right here in the UK. Now, we make videos like this to help you get the most out of your products, whether that's Sonos, TVs, turntables, or more. So if you're into great sound and smart tech, then make sure you subscribe down below. But for now, let's get into it with our top 10 tips for getting the most out of your Sonos Arc Ultra. Tip 1. Check your TV settings. Getting your Arc Ultra set up is usually pretty straightforward, and the Sonos app walks you through most of it. But one of the biggest mistakes we see is not having the right TV settings selected. So first up, the Arc Ultra supports Dolby Atmos, so you'll want to make sure that you're connected to your TV's eARC port, not just Arc. Now, most modern TVs have one, but it is worth double checking. Next, make sure your TV's audio output is set to Dolby Atmos and hasn't defaulted to PCM. When speaking with customers, this is one of the most common reasons people say it sounds good, but not amazing. PCM disables the overhead audio completely, so if your TV has defaulted to that, you're definitely missing out. Once that's sorted, there's an easy way to check if you're actually getting Atmos. Just play some Atmos-enabled content and then go into the Now Playing screen in the Sonos app, and you should see the Dolby Atmos logo here if it's active. Get those settings right and you'll unlock your soundbar's full Atmos potential. Where you position your soundbar might sound obvious, but it's one of the most common setup mistakes that we see. People not giving the Arc Ultra enough space to breathe, and as a result, it ends up choking the drivers. Now, one of the biggest strengths of this soundbar is its upwards and side-firing drivers, which are designed to bounce sound around your room for that immersive soundstage. But if you tuck it into a recess or put it right underneath a TV, the drivers can't do their job. So a big rule is never put the Arc Ultra in a recess or on a tight shelf inside a media wall. Make sure you leave at least 10 centimeters between the top of the soundbar and your TV. And ideally, you should bring your soundbar forward so it sits in front of your TV, as close to the edge as possible. If you're wall mounting, the same rules apply. Keep it clear of the TV so it has room to project sound upward and outward. Get the positioning wrong and you're already limiting what the Arc Ultra can do in your space. Get it right and you should notice more spacious, more immersive sound, especially with Atmos content. If you're already a Sonos fan, then you've probably heard of Trueplay. It's Sonos's built-in tuning tool that calibrates your soundbar for your specific space. Think of it like having a sound engineer fine-tune your setup. First, you'll need to choose your preferred Trueplay tuning option. Now, we'd recommend advanced tuning, but a little heads up, some devices are not able to support advanced tuning, but don't worry if that's the case for you. Quick tuning will still definitely make a notable difference. After selecting the Trueplay tuning method, now again, you might have already skipped past this step depending on the device you're using, you need to sit in your favorite listening position to tune for that spot. After doing so, you'll need to walk around the room waving your phone while it plays test tones. And yes, you will feel a little bit ridiculous doing it, but it's absolutely worth it. Just make sure you keep the background noise to a minimum whilst you do it, and make sure you cover as much of the space as possible. Now, if you've got an open plan space, then just focus on your main listening area rather than walking around your whole kitchen, diner, living area. You want Trueplay to understand where you'll actually be sitting and watching content. Once it's done, you can toggle Trueplay on and off in the app to hear the difference. Now, you can actually rerun it whenever you like, and definitely do this if you move the position of your soundbar or you have a major change like the layout of your space. Now, Trueplay only used to be available to iOS users, but with the Arc Ultra, it now works on Android too, so everyone can give it a go. Beyond using Trueplay, there are a number of extra tweaks and adjustments that you can make yourself in the Sonos app. Just bear in mind that the best settings to use are going to vary depending on your personal listening preferences, as well as the size and layout of your room. First up are the EQ settings, which you can find under the Settings tab. Tap System, find the zone with the Arc Ultra setup, and under Sound, tap EQ. Here we have two sliders for bass and treble. The bass controls the power and depth of the low end, while treble adjusts the brightness and clarity. Have a play around with these if you want to dial up or pull back any certain parts of the sound. You've then got this loudness toggle here. We usually have this on as it boosts low and high frequencies when you're listening at low to moderate volumes, but it's less needed if you often watch at higher volumes. Back in the sound menu, we have extra settings here for your surrounds and sub audio if you have a full home cinema system set up. But the other handy setting for the Arc Ultra that I want to highlight is height audio. As we know, the Arc Ultra has upward firing drivers, which help bounce sound off your ceiling to get the height channels in Atmos content, and you can raise or lower the height channels here in the app until you can hear the best overhead effects. The final setting that I want to highlight is TV Dialogue Sync, which can be found in Settings, System, Arc Ultra, and then TV Dialogue Sync. And this is helpful if you're experiencing any lip sync issues between your soundbar and TV. If you're using an eARC connection, you should get a near zero delay, but when using Arc or an older TV, you may experience some timing problems. All you need to do is move the slider left or right until the voices match up with the lip movement. Now, while the best settings are definitely not a one-size-fits-all, I know you guys will like to see what tweaks we've made to our system in this room, so I'll flash up the settings that I'm using in this space for you guys to have a closer look at. But the best thing you can do is just have a play around and see what sounds best for your space. Tip 5. Speech enhancement. A new feature for Arc Ultra is an advanced version of Sonos' speech enhancement mode, designed to give your dialogue a boost. We've all had those moments when you're watching a film and you can't quite pick up what someone just said, and that's exactly what this is for. It's also great if you have hearing difficulties too. This new version of speech enhancement is pretty clever software which uses AI to analyze your audio in real time, and there's less of a trade-off than the previous version of speech enhancement as it isolates speech as its own element. There are 4 levels as well as off. Off is the soundbar in its default state, so it plays audio exactly as it was mixed. Low gives a subtle lift which makes voices a little bit more present in the mix. Medium is about the same as the old speech enhancement on setting and is a much clearer improvement. High starts to shift the mix more noticeably, pushing dialogue to the front, and then max is ideal if you're hard of hearing or just want the dialogue to be super clear. It prioritizes voices even if that means dialing back some of the background detail. Personally, I leave mine on low as it gives a little extra clarity while sticking pretty true to the original mix. It is, however, definitely worth experimenting with to find out what works best for you and your setup. Night mode is another great feature on the Arc Ultra, designed to soften loud crashes and bangs while keeping dialogue and quieter details nice and clear. It's perfect for late night watching when you don't want to wake up the rest of the house. It solves that late night volume struggle where you're constantly reaching for the remote to turn things down during action scenes and then back up again for speech. You can toggle it on easily in the now playing screen just here. But top tip, don't forget to turn it back off again. It's a great feature, but it does alter the sound performance and pulls back the bass, which you definitely don't want for normal viewing. It would be great if Sonos introduced a timer where it automatically comes on between set hours in the evening. So Sonos, if you're watching this one to add to the to-do list? Number 7 is a quick one and a reminder that you can use voice control with your Arc Ultra. You can choose between Sonos Voice Control or Amazon Alexa, and once you've set it up, you can use your voice to turn your TV off and on, adjust the volume, and a bunch of other handy things. Perfect if you've misplaced the remote, which does happen to the best of us. There's a touch button on the top panel if you want to mute voice control temporarily, and it disables voice control but keeps the mics active for things like Trueplay. But if you want to completely cut the mics off, there's a physical switch on the back of the soundbar. Of course, one of the easiest and most effective, albeit not the cheapest ways to upgrade your Sonos Arc Ultra is by expanding your home cinema setup by adding rears, a sub, or both. Now, one of the best things about Sonos is that you can start small and build up over time, so your system can grow as your space or budget allows. There is, of course, too much to unpack in this video, but we've got loads of content already on our channel going through all of our recommended Arc Ultra home cinema upgrades for different spaces and different budgets. I'll link those down in the description box below for you. Because the Arc Ultra has that new sound motion woofer that helps deliver solid bass, we generally say that adding rears first gives the biggest upgrade in terms of immersion. The Era 300s are the perfect match. Their up-firing drivers work together with the Arc Ultra's height channels for a super immersive 3D soundstage. That being said, if you're all about bass impact, then adding a sub will absolutely deliver that hit. You'll notice a nice uplift with the Sub Mini, but the real punch comes from adding a Sub 4, or 2 if you're going all in. The ultimate Arc Ultra setup is adding a pair of Era 300 rears and 1 or 2 Sub 4s, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right setup for you. The best system is always the one that suits your space and listening habits. Check out our other videos, or if you're in the UK, get in touch and we'd be happy to help find your perfect combination. Did you know that you can actually listen to your TV audio through Sonos's wireless headphones, the Sonos Ace? Well, you can, and it's a pretty cool experience. It uses a feature called TV Audio Swap, which basically swaps the sound from your Arc Ultra to your Sonos Ace headphones with just a tap of a button. The headphones themselves are super comfy, easy to set up, and once connected, they use something called True Cinema. This is where the soundbar acoustically maps out your room and recreates that same sound profile inside of the headphones, so it feels like you're listening to your full surround setup, not just a pair of headphones. And with a recent software update, you can now pair 2 sets of Sonos Ace at once, which is perfect if 2 of you want to watch a movie late at night and still get that big immersive sound without waking the rest of the house. The only thing to note though is that when Audio Swap is active, the sound completely switches over to the headphones. You can't currently play through both the Arc Ultra and Ace at the same time. Now, I know that I've seen a lot of you guys in the comments saying that that would be helpful, especially for someone who's hard of hearing, and we'd honestly love to see that added in a future update too. But either way, adding a pair of Sonos Ace to your Arc Ultra gives you that extra flexibility. Great for late night movie watching or gaming, or just when you want that immersive experience all to yourself. Tip 10 is a bit of a bonus tip, and that's don't forget to use your Arc Ultra for music. Yes, it's an impressive home cinema soundbar, but it's also a great music system too. We chat to loads of people who are building out multi-room setups, and they often forget that the soundbar in their living room could be one of the best speakers in the house, and the Arc Ultra offers a spacious, balanced and detailed sound for music playback. You can even use it as a speaker for your turntable. If you've got a Victrola Sonos compatible turntable, you can connect wirelessly and enjoy your vinyl collection through your soundbar. And one last handy tip, if you press and hold the play pause button on your Arc Ultra, it will sync up and start playing whatever else is playing in your home. If you have multiple Sonos zones going, keep your finger held down and it will cycle through them until you find the one that you want. And that's it. 10 top tips to getting the best out of your Sonos Arc Ultra. But it definitely doesn't stop there. I know this community is brilliant at finding clever tweaks and features, so make sure you guys get in the comments down below and share any tips or tricks that you've discovered. We love seeing how you guys get the most out of your setups. If you've enjoyed this video, here are 2 other videos I think you might like. And if you're after some new tech for your home, head over to smarthomesounds.co.uk. We offer a free 6-year extended warranty on Sonos and have a huge range of brands and products from the best audio-visual brands out there. Thank you guys very much for watching this one, and I'll see all of you in the next video.